As you know, good morning, everybody, and thank you. I'm afraid it's just me again. I'm very sad that the other two editors aren't here, but I'll do my best. As you know, for centuries, India has produced a huge variety of textiles, wonderful things. And Bengal, with its great delta and river systems, has produced a wealth of fibers, dyes, and cloth, both humble and magnificent, and much of it unrecorded until now. This book is a record of this great range of textiles and the skills that produce them, an unraveling of their story. The book is in 6 sections. The first place Bengal in its historical and geographical context. Others look at raw materials, the world of the Bengal textile worker, design, production, and consumption. Essays on the way in which the fabrics were worn, traded, and collected. The book is generously illustrated with paintings, prints, photographs, and a wide range of textiles and costumes, many shown for the first time, collected by Weaver's Studio and lent by private collectors. What we as a team have tried to do is to restore these marvelous fabrics to their place in history and to show them as a living part of Bengal's culture and social fabric, from songs to freedom struggles. The story of these textiles has been interrupted many times by invasions, traders from across Asia and notably Europe, by natural disasters and political events. Yet here today, in this audience, you can see that they're a living tradition, still made by the hands of people in Bengal and worn by the citizens of Bengal and beyond. The trade in Bengal textiles has left its mark on the landscape. Dhaka, Kolkata, the vestiges of the old European trading posts such as Chandernagore and Serampore. The buildings crumble, but the cloth, the fabric of Bengal survives. Thanks.
Some of you may have been wondering, and those who have been sort of meeting us evenings, mornings, afternoon, apologies for being here the 3rd time in the last 2 days. And I've been warned to speak only for 1 minute. So I would simply say that the book is going out into the market in the next 10 days. You are the first one to be able to see it here. It's not been anywhere else. Bookshops are dwindling over the years, especially bookshops who carry books which are visually rich and expensive. So the place to find the book is online, either on Mapin website or Amazon or elsewhere through a limited number of bookshops around. So please look out online if you can't find it in bookshops. And instead of saying anything about the book that you have heard from Sonia, I think you need to get your books in your hands. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ashmore. The fabric of Bengal stays alive, yes. And as Mr. Shah said, online. And of course here for the next 2 days. It is now time for me to call Mr. Mayank Mansingh Kaul, Symposium Convenor and Exhibition Curator, to formally introduce the symposium to all present here. Mr. Kaul.
Good morning and welcome to this 2-day symposium, Textiles from Bengal, a Shared Legacy. These symposiums really are made through the gathering and as much through the parallel conversations that happen outside of the presentation. So this symposium is really all of us together. And we really hope it's going to be rich. We really hope it's going to provide a lot of food for discussion. And just by way of introducing how we've conceived the 2 days and scheduled the presentations, day 1 today we thought would be good to focus on some of the more conceptual reflections and insights that come up when we discuss what we think about receiving the shared legacies of the region of Bengal from the perspective of textiles. So we have the keynote by Professor Jain that's going to look at some of his ongoing research uh, connecting trade in cotton, slave trade, indigo, during the colonial period in India. We then follow this up with a panel discussion with very brief presentations by Dr. Iftikhar Iqbal and Dr. Ritu Sethi on geographical indicators. This is a subject of great debate and discussion currently. How do we receive some of these shared legacies today when countries are independent? How do we reflect on their social, cultural questions as well as questions of ownership? We then move on to two presentations that we're really looking forward to by Avalon and Rosemary Krill. They're going to be talking about the collections of Bengal textiles at the V&A in London and the Tapi collection in India, giving us a chance to also reflect on intentions, ideas, and thoughts behind collection building. What happens when you curate in the context of a private collection or that of a large public institution? The kind of care, the kind of thinking that goes behind this kind of collection building actually makes possible exhibitions like we're seeing today, and the chance for research, publications, and wider public dissemination. And then because so much of what we see in Bengal emerged at a particular point in Murshidabad, we have two presentations over a session that actually looks at the history of Murshidabad itself, as well as the kind of patronage, textiles, tastes in apparel that emerged among the Sheherwali Jain families of Murshidabad, prominent families that led questions of taste, consumption, patronage, and keeping alive the most exquisite examples of hand craftsmanship that we have the chance to see in the exhibition as well. Thank you all to the lenders of the exhibition. We started with, I think, Darshan, was it over 5,000 images of potential things we could include in the exhibition. We narrowed down to 1,000 objects. And from that, about 120 objects have actually been placed. So the idea of doing the symposium for Darshan was really that there's so much we've not been able to cover in a brief survey exhibition like we have here, and that the symposium could aid the further understanding of the objects presented, the kind of reflections that come up when we understand, receive, think about these objects. So in that sense, the 9 groups of the exhibition, beginning with the colonial period, moving into drapes, specialized and dedicated groups on jamdani, chicken curry, and so on and so forth, are actually reflected in the way we have scheduled the sessions. Tomorrow, on day 2, we'll be then moving with the kind of stage setting that we're trying to do today. We're going to move into more specialized presentations. So we're going to look at genres that are represented in groups and sections in the exhibition, whether it's chicken curry and embroideries from Bengal, whether we're looking at genres of woven textiles and so on and so forth. And we will end tomorrow with a round table. So we will have all the presenters and panelists on stage together to discuss the kind of reflections that have emerged in the 2 days among themselves and with all of you, the participants. And last but not the least, we'll have a presentation by celebrated and very well-known filmmaker, the face of Bengal in many ways, Aparna Sen. One of the things that we couldn't include in the exhibitions as much as we wanted to was the performative aspect of textiles. From the time that we are born and we're wrapped in new and beautiful fabric to the time that we pass on, when we are covered in shroud, we're always performing. We're in direct touch with fabric and textiles. And that was something that we couldn't do in an exhibition like this, which required the kind of conservation efforts and protocols that we had to follow. So we have a session which is going to look at how costume and textiles are conceived from the sense of design in film. And Aparna Di will be taking us through some of the films, Bengali films. We'll be seeing some clips from films. and she'll be reflecting on how what goes on into scenography, what goes behind scenography, choreographing, and thinking about the performative through textiles. So thank you so much again for being here. And I would now like to invite Dr. Jain to please present his keynote.